Alrighty then. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Matthew Baker of Beautiful New York Tours. A friend of mine who was born and grew up in Chile, but now lives in New York City and guides tours here, asked me to do a piece about Central Park. He said, right now we need parks. And I feel his pain. However, those of you who've been watching these videos from the beginning know what I'm going to say. Central Park is too famous. Everyone's done stuff on Central Park. There's nothing I can tell you about Central Park. And then I thought, hold on a sec. What about the northern tip of the park? Up by the North Woods near 110th Street, where a lot of tours and tourists don't go, except for the occasional drive-by on a bus. That's a really lovely part of Central Park that deserves a lot more love than it usually gets. Up at the northeast corner of Central Park is the Harlemmere. The Mere is one of the major bodies of water of the park. It has one of those simple names, the pond, the pool, the loch, the lake, the mere, and the reservoir. The mere is the Dutch word for lake. It is also the only natural body of water in the park. All of the others are piped in. But the Harlemmere is the one that was built on an actual, marshy, wet area of Manhattan. So it's a reminder that, of course, Central Park is a man-made park. It's not, as some will believe, a vestige of the last unspoiled forest of Manhattan. No, it was all placed there by the first-time landscape architects Calvert Vaux and Frederick Law Olmsted. So, every body of water is brought in from Croton except for the Mere. Now, just south of the Harlemmere is certainly one of my favorite parts of Central Park, and that is the Conservatory Garden. And the great wrought iron gates in front of the Conservatory Garden used to be the gates of the Vanderbilt Mansion, and the garden is really three gardens in one. It is the closest thing to a formally manicured European-style garden that you'll find in Central Park. And the Central Garden, when you first come in, that's the Italian garden, and that feels very much like something you might see on a manicured lawn in a Tuscan villa. But then, if you go to the south, you get to the Secret Garden, which is, of course, a British style, and it's very much a tribute to Frances Hodgson Burnett and her great novel, The Secret Garden. And that's a lot of New Yorkers' favorite spot, including mine, because there's always something in bloom there. When one type of flower is done, another has started, and it's really beautiful all year round. And the fountain at the Secret Garden has a quiet elegance to it that is very much a contrast to the bombast of the others. And to the north, the fanciest of the three is the French Garden, and that has the charming and jovial Untermeyer fountain in its center, along with all the squiggly little hedgerows of various little flowers, very much of the type that you would see in the formal gardens of a place like Versailles. Just to the west of the Conservatory Garden is my favorite of the myriad arches and bridges in Central Park. It's well known that the park is famous for its bridges like the Bow Bridge and the Rosebank Bridge and the Greywacke Arch and the Trefoil Arch, but my favorite of the bunch is the Huddlestone Arch, just to the west of the garden. And I love the Huddlestone for a couple of reasons. First of all of the rocks that it's made from come from within the park parameters. Calvert Vaux was looking to go local long before the concept of going local was a thing. But the other great thing about it is a miracle of design and engineering, because there are no nails and no mortar anywhere in the Huddlestone Arch. The whole thing is held together by the weight of the rocks pressing against each other and nothing else. Now, on the rare occasion that I have the pleasure of guiding a tour up in this part of the park, I love telling people that little aspect of the Huddlestone Arch while we're standing under it. That's always a lot of fun. So you may know Central Park, but I'm willing to bet you don't know all of it. And if you would like to see more, once it is safe to do so, please check me out at Beautiful New York Tours. You can search Beautiful New York Tours on Facebook or email me at baker.tours@yahoo.com. Again, that is baker.tours@yahoo. Thank you very much.